why did Salman find the need to twist the story and release audio recordings, which I have messages, which we're going to hear recordings right now, of Mohammed Tarawne claiming that Salman took an oath by Allah that he's not recording him.
By Allah, by Allah.
And number two, we're going to read messages of Mohammed Tarawne saying to Salman, leave me out of this situation. I don't want to be involved. Not because he's blackmailed. Not because he's blackmailed. And I am about to prove that. Brothers and sisters, let's hear the first recording for ourselves, inshallah.
When this matter was brought up, I asked him specifically, is this call, is it recorded? He said to me, no. Then he made an oath by Allah that's not recorded. He just wanted a clarity for himself. He mentioned that it wasn't recorded. When he made an oath by Allah.
Not only did Salman backstab Tarawne, he threw him under the bus. Why did he do this? This is the big question. Why did he do that? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. In this video, inshallah, I'm going to be answering the questions that people had, the clarifications, the misinformation, the slanders that have been done towards ourselves, that we have done a heinous crime, which is blackmailing our own teacher. So much so, the blackmailing was so severe that he ended up in the hospital. This is this version of Salman. This version, and why did he find the need to do this, which he thought was a golden bullet in the head of myself and Muhammad Hijab for that matter. He thought the matter is done. These guys blackmailing their own teacher, you cannot become the lowest of the low. You cannot get any lower than that. And I agree with him. From his point of view and the accusation that is made, how the public saw it, to to blackmail their teacher to a level that he ends up in hospital sending a voice recording to Tarawne that he has ended up in hospital is the most vilest, disgusting thing ever. Just one thing though. If it is true, that is the most heinous crime of it all, so much so that I am willing to leave the Dawah scene completely if this is true. And I swear upon Allah, I swear by Allah, Uqsum Billah, I swear upon the Rabb of the Kaaba, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to curse me. And I ask Tarawne and Salman, and I message them both as well, and I ask them to come, get on a phone call with me, and ask the curse of Allah. Yes, I'll ask the curse of Allah on myself if I'm lying, and I ask him specifically, Salman, if I am lying on this matter. And he knows I am not. Brothers and sisters, I'm about to show receipts, because I know everybody says, Wallahi, Wallahi, by Allah, you know, Salman with his calm tone, and by Allah, and by Allah, and by Allah. You think to yourself, somebody who takes an oath, surely he will not lie. One thing that you guys have missed out, brothers and sisters, is the following. Ali radiallahu anh said, in order for you to know what justice is, you have to hear the other side. And this is the reason why, brothers and sisters, I took 10 days out. I done istikhara. I consulted with my elders. I consulted with brothers that I know. I even sat down with Mohammed Tarawne myself, face to face with 3 witnesses. And I'm going to tell you what exactly unfolded. And I, from the best of my ability, I'm not going to try to bring up things because I don't want to harm his family. I want this to be done in the Sharia Council. And I will tell you why he really ended up in hospital and if he ever was blackmailed. We are going to come to that, inshallah. So, brothers and sisters, that's first thing first, inshallah. Moving forward, brothers and sisters, why did Salman find the need to twist the story and release audio recordings, which I have messages, which we're going to hear recordings right now, of Mohammed Tarawne claiming that Salman took an oath by Allah that he's not recording him. And number two, we're going to read messages of Mohammed Tarawne saying to Salman, leave me out of this situation. I don't want to be involved. Not because he's blackmailed. Not because he's blackmailed. And I am about to prove that. Brothers and sisters, let's hear the first recording for ourselves, inshallah.
When this matter was brought up, I asked him specifically, is this call, is it recorded? He said to me, no. Then he made an oath by Allah that's not recorded. He just wanted a clarity for himself. So anyway, he mentioned that it wasn't recorded. When he made an oath by Allah that it wasn't recorded. That's one thing. On the other side, I mean, it, when he was asking about specific details, I was just only avoiding more, the answers. But at the end of the day, I mean, eventually, if it's a testimony, the people will testify what they know, even though it's not a majlis qada, يعني. So I told him, أخي, يعني, for you to know, there's not majlis qada for me. I'm not obliged to answer your questions. And at the end of the day, I have helped the sister in the best way I can, and that's what I did. And ask her. I did my best to help her. That's all. So basically, that was the conversation about that.
Now, on the voice recording you heard, brothers and sisters, Muhammad Taran is saying that Salman took an oath by Allah. The man on video who says, by Allah.
By Allah, by Allah, by Allah, by Allah.
By Allah. With a calm tone, this man took an oath by Allah that he's not recording Tarawih. Little did Muhammad Taran know, not only was he secretly recording him, he also published the recordings which you guys heard, yes, which you heard, and here is Muhammad Taran pleading with him in messages, which I want to show you guys, inshallah. This is Salman messaging him. You sent him, using you in an effort to be a witness of a false narrative and attack campaign against myself and Sister Bushra. But wallahi, this is Allah's way of honoring you. We have to go through the initial test, but then the relief and the reward comes immediately after. I will defend your name and your honor in a way you never thought possible. I can't believe how Muhammad Hijab literally set up his own trap and fell in it. Do not be stressed. You will see in 2 days what will happen. Allah loves the sincere and the truthful. May Allah expose and humiliate the liars, transgressors. Allahumma ameen. Muhammad Taran replies, Wa alaikum salam, brother. My brother, you brought me up in your video when I clearly said to you that I don't want to get involved. He then says, I referenced a well-known sheikh and had nothing identifiable or anything referenced to anyone that could tie it to you. This is critical due to their insistence that there is nothing of merit. And then Muhammad Taran replies again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother. As I mentioned to you, I don't want to get involved in this matter and you are trying to pull me into it. The problem is no one is benefiting from it except the enemies of Islam. Look at the Shia, the Zionists. What are they doing? They're attacking all of us, not just Muhammad Hijab, especially the people of the Islamic Sunni Dawah. And please, brother, I ask you by Allah, do not bring me into this matter in any way, as I don't want you or anyone to defend me. I believe Allah will defend the ones who was being wronged. Not only did Salman backstab Tarawih, he threw him under the bus. Why did he do this? This is the big question. Why did he do that? Because when I released my version of the video, yes, that went viral, and I talked about how I sat down with the sister and I interviewed her, and I was supposed to put the interview up, and the tide swiftly changed. It changed towards Salman being attacked because people saying, firstly, where is your evidence? You have no evidence. Muhammad Tarawih was not a witness for this so-called marriage or nothing.
Akhi, as I said to you, wallahi, I was not involved in the nikah between Muhammad Hijab and the sister Bushra in any sort of form. I was not her wali. I was not a witness. I wasn't involved in that nikah. So, as I mentioned to you, my brother, I don't want to get involved with this matter. I have done enough in it. So please, take me out of this matter. Allah barik fik.
Muhammad Tarawih is talking about what Sister Bushra testified. Okay, so there was no evidence. So what Salman did next was he thought to himself, okay, how can I further, because his integrity is in question now. So he thought, how do I get back at them? What did he do? He recorded, he released the recording of between me and Sister Bushra, which she was secretly recording. No problem at all. You heard the recording for yourself. If anything in that recording, I was actually attacking Muhammad Hijab in that matter. If I am biased, why would I do that? Why would I ask the sister to go public? Which shows that I was not biased. And Uqsum Billah, Allah is my witness. I was not biased. I heard the story until I heard the other side and realized that she was not only lying, then she was allying with the enemies of Islam and going and giving information to the most heinous enemies of Islam, subhanAllah. So that's why I refused to release it. Now Salman realized that's not enough. Then he brought the so-called father into the matter of Bushra's father, apparently. And if we go with the narrative, Bushra's father telling her, do not marry me, you have my permission. So it wasn't working. Salman needed a golden bullet. And that golden bullet would have come how? By sacrificing Muhammad Tarawih. And he realized, oh my gosh, the mistake that I made. Not only that, brothers and sisters, if you guys remember, one of the claims that was made by Salman was what? Her testimony is her evidence. That's where I did a video and talking about Salman's ex. And if we said, okay, Salman, if this is your condition, then does that mean Dunya's testimony is her evidence against you and her heinous accusations about you? But what did Salman do? Salman said, of course not. Do you know what he did, brothers and sisters? Let's read for ourselves. He made a mere simple post, not a video, a simple post saying the following: correction on a personal testimony as evidence in Islam. Listen carefully, guys. We would like to correct an earlier point regarding the victim's personal testimony and Islamic legal procedures. A claimant's own statement is not considered valid evidence, bayina, on its own. The clarification is important. One of our team members made an innocent mistake. That being said, while her statement may not meet Islamic legal thresholds, it still holds enormous moral and spiritual significance, especially in a community where doors of justice are closed. When formal institutions fail, Allah's door remains open. The oppressed are granted a powerful weapon, dua that reaches the heavens without a veil. Now, somebody made a very important comment there. So, whoa, hold on a second there. This is them repeating what Salman said. While her statement may not meet the Islamic legal threshold, they still hold enormous moral and spiritual significance. If you're a Muslim, Islam is your only moral compass and it's your spiritual compass. So if it does not meet an Islamic threshold, then it doesn't meet moral or spiritual standards either. If you call yourself a Muslim, correct? Yes. Unless you believe there is a morality outside of Islam which is superior to Islam's morality, then you have fallen into kufr. So I repeat one last time. If it doesn't reach an Islamic standard, then it reaches no standards without worth considering. So clearly demonstrating that, Salman, what are you trying to say? That it doesn't reach an Islamic threshold, but you're still going to go ahead with it. That's not kufr. That's basically saying it doesn't reach the Islamic threshold, but we are still going to take your evidence. Whoa, my friend, you will get lashed for slander. Now, my point is not this, guys. The whole hijab story, I've done a video, done and dusted. Now, Salman needed a bullet, golden bullet, to put this to the end. What did he do? He decided to sacrifice the very man, our ex-teacher, Mohammed Tarawih, and he sacrificed him and backstabbed him by releasing an information which was in confidentiality. Yes, about hijabs, family members, all this kind of stuff, etc., whatever it's for that matter. Yeah, his wife, which Mohammed Tarawih broke confidentiality. If I go to a marriage counselor, which he was, Mohammed Tarawih did some marriage counseling for me and my wife, hijab and his wife, to go and tell certain things about he's known to do this many times to somebody that is not even a scholar, who's some kind of a journalist, broke confidentiality. But not only that, what Salman did not know was that because he did not know and he was in a desperate situation to have one over us, and which it seemed before I released this video that he definitely had that one over him, blackmailing our teacher, him ended up in the hospital. Heinous. Little did he know, because he doesn't know Muhammad Tarawih. I've lived, like Umar ibn Khattab said, you cannot vouch for anybody, speak good or bad of them, unless you have traveled with them, lived with them, or worked with them. One of these three. I know Muhammad Tarawih for 10 plus years, nearly a decade. Salman, because of your desperation, because of your obsession with dunya and whatever she put you through, yes, you made your whole dunya. And this has clouded your judgment for justice. And let me be honest, I am embarrassed on your behalf of what I'm about to reveal, because I had no choice but to do this. And I swear upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Uqsum billah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala curse me if I have ever blackmailed Muhammad Tarawih, if he ended up in hospital because of so-called blackmailing. This is absolutely lie, and I will come on camera with Muhammad Tarawih, whoever, to say that wallahi, billahi, he has sat in this house, in my own house, and I spoke to him. Yes? And let me tell you something, brothers and sisters, and everything is about to make sense. The things that I'm going to show you guys, brothers and sisters, is not something that I want to, and not only that, I have also censored for the sake of Muhammad Tarawih's family, and also for the well-being of his children that I've met in person. And I am going to tell you guys why I had no choice but to do this, brothers and sisters. So number one, I challenged Salman to come on a phone call with me, that I would take Allah's curse upon me if I am lying about what I'm saying about any of this stuff. If it's a single lie, I ask anyone to come and ask Allah's curse on themselves, and I ask myself if anything I'm saying here is a lie. That's how certain and sure I am of this matter. Not only that, I have been directly blackmailed with slanderous lies about myself, and that a organization that I'm working with will be slandered also if I release this video. And I said to the person who slandered me to my blackmailed me to my face that Uqsam billah, I don't care whatever you think you have over me, because you have nothing. And I know, alhamdulillah, you have nothing. I am going to come out with this video, and I'm going to come out for specific reasons. So brothers and sisters, on this next chapter, I'm going to reveal to you guys why Mohammed Tarawih really ended up in hospital and how everything is going to make perfect sense. Not only that, it's going to leave Salman in a big dilemma. I'll tell you guys why I've been holding this back for a while, and you're going to find out. Now, we're going to go back to 2019, guys. 2019. We had our organization, non-for-profit organization, Salam. And in that non-for-profit organization, brothers and sisters, we had members who were involved. Who started it? Myself, Sheikh Abu Safiya, Sheikh Mohammed Hijab, were the initial individuals who are in this organization. Now, brothers and sisters, in the Dawah scene, we need to understand that it comes with great amana, great responsibilities. We cannot abuse our power. We cannot abuse our position and take advantage of people. We cannot. Whoever it is, and I'm talking generally, by the way, I'm not talking anything specifically. If you look at Surah Abasa in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rebukes the Prophet ﷺ for frowning at a blind man. Now the question we need to ask is, the blind man cannot see the frowning. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rebuke the Prophet ﷺ? Because it doesn't befit a prophet to frown, even though it is something so light. But he should have not done that. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the best man to walk this earth. Brothers and sisters, in the Dawah scene, the same thing applies. We have to know better. There are certain things that individuals can do, a layman Muslim can do, that we cannot do, because it is the amana of the people given to us, the money that they donate, that we use for the causes, inshallah, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the trust, the belief that they have in us. That's the reason why when people message me and saying, you blackmailed the teacher, it really hurt me. And I didn't really blame them. I wish they just came and asked me what really happened. And when they see this video, I know they're going to be feeling maybe embarrassed and shy. But I don't totally blame them. But if only they just assume the best and ask questions rather than jump into accusations. In 2019, brothers and sisters, a investigation, accusations started to arise. Yes? So alleged harassment and confessions of misconduct started to appear. Here is my message to Mohammed Tarawih. In 2019, 25th of June 2019. Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. I've been told not to speak to anyone or yourself until Sheikh Uthman gets to the bottom of it. There are allegations and I am in Turkey, so I'll wait for an update. I can't do anything at the moment. And then again, I can't show you his reply because it's an amana. Yes, I can't do what Salman does by taking oaths and betraying it and showing messages, etc. Yes, from his side, I can't do that. Throwing Tarawih under the bus. Little does he know that that golden bullet that he thought he was going to use was a bullet that it went to his head instead of us. Because right now, the investigation, that external investigation going on, which I'm going to come to now, is going to be submitted to a genuine Sharia council. And it's also going to be submitted, the people who are doing this, who they've come to me for witness testimony as well, which I have no choice but to do it. It's the haqq of the people. They're also going to be submitted to behind the veils. And behind the veils, Salman, you are going to now have to be impartial, not biased, and release videos about the situation about Mohammed Tarawih. The man that you praised and said he's a scholar is in doubt. And once again, I'm not trying to say he's absolutely evil. I'm just saying that there was misconduct. There was confessions of misconduct, alleged harassment by 3-4 organizations. Some of them are mosques. 10 plus testimonies, text messages, which I'm going to read and not disclose because I don't want to harm his family, but I have to do this because it is something that has happened many times and you will understand now. We will defend everyone's honor and yours and everyone's also. Now, when the investigation was kind of concluded and we saw the evidences, I said the following. Now, I want to tell one thing, guys. People think that this whole arise because of Tarawih speaking out against hijab and I had hijab's back. Mohammed Tarawih knows and he can vouch for me. He knows what kind of person I am. He can vouch for me. Yes? That I have nothing personal against him. He's helped me in many situations and I've helped him as well. But this is not personal. This is specifically for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because there was a moment at Salam when Muhammad Hijab actually said something insulting to Tarawih. Yes? Out of a moment of anger. They had their disagreement. And and this was when hijab was at its most prominent. Yes, the whole David Wood debate, etc. Yes, I'm not a yes man. I'm not a yes man. If there's one thing that people know about me, Dawah man, I work with many people, I'm not a yes man. I'm not here to serve anybody. My loyalty is to nobody except Allah and His Messenger. Yes? So, when he did that, I boycotted Muhammad Hijab. I told him, you cannot speak to him like that. I boycotted him. Muhammad Hijab was very upset, whatever it is for that matter. So, I've defended Muhammad Tarawih many times. So, I have no bias towards anybody. But when these things arose about him, brothers and sisters, this is what I said to him. And this is where you know that I have the genuine concern of the dawah scene. Wa alaikum salam. I'm sorry, but this is not justified at all. And I saw the evidences for myself, and there was more than a statement of, I cannot disclose, guys, because I believe this can harm him and his family. So I don't want to go into detail. I'm very disappointed and feel disgusted. I feel used because I trusted you. I do not wish bad for you, but I will never from now on ever endorse anyone. These sisters will blame me and say, Ali, you promoted this person. You called him your teacher. It's 5 sisters, not only one. We are all men and have weaknesses towards the opposite gender, but we are at the forefront of the dawah. We can't afford to slip up. If I believe I'm vulnerable, I just move away from the dawah and tell people I'm struggling and would be taking a step back from the dawah, so don't hold me to account if I slip up. I have to now message all these sisters and tell them that I am free from anyone I endorsed, including you. I don't trust anyone. I'm no angel and I have had my mistakes, but not to this level of multiple sisters coming with similar things of being inappropriate. Now, brothers and sisters, I want to make something clear. There was no major sin involved. I'm not saying that he did something of sexual harassment. I want to make this clear. It's no sexual harassment, zina, nothing like that. But you need to understand, guys, like I said to you before, there are certain things in the dawah that we, especially someone who deems himself to be a teacher or sheikh, that he should not do and not talk in a specific manner, in a specific way. One of those things is sinful on his behalf, and he knows that. But other than that, there's harassment accusations. I just want to make that clear. I don't want people to start going into wild accusations. No. So I wrote there, and these are the sisters who saw you as a teacher and trusted you. I defended you when all this came out, and I said I will not believe a single word until I see full evidences. Then we postponed the evidence to meet you and hear your side, but you have resigned, which shows me your guilt. I do not wish to work or trust anyone again so easily. We want full reference and vouch from people. I'm not ungrateful and I thank you for what you've done for me. But imagine if 5 sisters came out about me. This is nothing personal, but strictly for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah to rectify your affairs, and I would highly recommend you do not work with sisters at all, as it's your weakness like mine, also every man's. But I have measures in place to protect myself, especially with what's going on with Hassanat abusing his power. This was at the time, if you remember, the whole Hassanat situation. We will be absolute hypocrites to turn a blind eye to this and carry on working with you in any way, shape or form. You even deceived me. I don't understand why you like people calling yourself a sheikh and you always want to be at the forefront and want your pictures on top. This is arrogance to me. But for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I turned a blind eye. But now, abusing your power, I'm disgusted. Assalamu alaikum. He had his replies, etc., etc. And then, this is what I said. I never took anyone's side. I defended you, never took anyone's side. I said, I want to hear his side. There is 5 sisters, not 1. And then I wrote, you can see because I can't give context because reply. Why not Sheikh Uthman? You said certain things to an individual, someone that he wanted to marry. I've seen it all. You told her, again, I need to blur this, guys, because it's going to the Sharia Council. I do not want to go into details. You said da-da-da-da-da. And you even, on the phone, also 5 other sisters said certain whatever. I'm not going to go into the details of the message because this is going to be submitted to the Sharia Council and also going to be submitted to Behind the Veils of the investigation that's going on. And I'm going to leave it to that because I don't want to go. And again, I'm not saying there was sexual harassment, zina, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there was misconduct and also confessions of misconduct and also alleged harassment by multiple people, and many other students that used to work with them stopped working with them. So much so, brothers and sisters, that when this happened, I freed myself from him in 2019. So for anyone that says that this was something that we propped and orchestrated and got 4 organizations and many people to come together, it's a grievous lie, because that was not the case. In 2019, that's what happened. I distanced myself from him. But then I was contacted by a person that I deemed to be a student of knowledge who sat me down and said, he's your teacher. And they tried to justify to me what he did was not haram and whatever. I'm not going to go into detail. And they made me feel as if what I doing was wrong and that I have no right to boycott him and that I should work with him and I should apologize for that matter. I was in double mind, because to me, I was like, look, we cannot have these little, even if it's small mistakes or whatever it is, and some of them are sinful. We can't have in the Dawah, because he is known to be my teacher. Me and Muhammad Hijab made him a sheikh. And with all due respect, he's not a sheikh. He's a student of knowledge, just like many students of knowledge. So this is the reason why. Now, what happened is, I was at Speaker's Corner around 2022, if I'm not mistaken, around that time. 3 sisters came to me complaining about Tarawih again. Now, I was so disturbed. I was like, oh my gosh, not again. Like, I thought to myself, like, is this happening again? Because even though I freed myself, and then what happened is they made some allegations, whatever it is. Again, yes, you can call it alleged harassment, whatever it is for that matter. Okay. But this time, when I approached Mohammed Tarawih, he gave me counter evidence. Now, the counter evidence was somehow, you can say, cleared him somehow to an extent. Again, it was, anyways. I thought, you know what? I spoke to that student of knowledge, and maybe I should assume the best. Maybe I should assume the best and leave this matter. I actually apologized to Tarawih. I said, you know what? People make mistakes. They're human beings. No problem. And this is my apology to him, so you guys can read it for yourself. Now, in 5th January 2020, yes, if we plotted all of this, is these lies? Am I making this stuff up? Assalamu alaikum. 4 sisters, this is what I'm talking about. 4 sisters came to me today complaining about you and saying you was, again, alleged harassment. I'm not going to show. Whatever. I can't go into detail with them. Riva's sister said you, again, I have to blur this for the sake of his family. I'm not going to go into detail. I have no choice now but to take this as a sign that something's not right about you. This is the 3rd time, because I promoted you, they're complaining to me. Now, brothers and sisters, when I did this, he, some context or whatever, and even you can see, on 14th of May, I blocked him. Because this is, to me, it's an amana. I blocked him. But what happened is there were some evidences brought to me, etc. And because of that, I apologized to him. And I just want to read it to you guys, yeah? On the 30th of July, 2020, when the evidences were brought forth, and when I thought to myself, you know what, let me assume the best in him, I apologized. I said, Salaam alaikum, Sheikh. I would like to ask your forgiveness for assuming the worst in you. I just had a concern for our sisters, and also when the recent controversy happened with the Hassanat issue, I panicked and I wasn't thinking clear. And when the sisters started crying, I felt very bad and took the matters into my own hands. I had the concern of Muslims at heart and misjudged. So please forgive me, because you showed the messages these sisters sent you after leaving Umrah. If what they accused you of was true, then they would never ever send you those well-wishing messages. So, yeah, you can see, I apologize because if they are complaining about him, then why did they send him well-wishing messages, if that's really the case? So again, I don't know if these messages were directly from them. I assume the best. This was the 3rd instance that this happened. Yes? Now, brothers and sisters, a month before, or 3-4 weeks before, the whole Salman videos came out. There was alleged harassment. Happened again. When I heard this, I was like, what do I do? Like, this time, like, it's just like, the Prophet said, the believer doesn't get bit from the same hole twice. What do I do? Brothers and sisters, then I know some people will think, okay, hold on a second. How come the timing? Wallahi, billahi, uqsum billah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to deal with me. If I blackmailed or I was involved in something to hush him or something he knew, Muhammad Tarawih was not even a witness to the marriage. He does not know nothing and is irrelevant. The point was what? Salman needed the golden bullet and he used Tarawih's voice note after taking it off by Allah. He says, by Allah, by Allah. Can you imagine how deceitful you have to be by taking it off by Allah and releasing audio notes when he told you he doesn't want to be involved? And the reason he didn't want to be involved, brothers and sisters, is, let me tell you, brothers and sisters, because Muhammad Tarawih knew there's an investigation going on before Salman's videos. So we could not orchestrate this. We can't have 10 plus people coming forward of harassment. More organizations I can't name for legal reasons. Yes, that some of them are taking external, independent investigations that's going on of this. It's going to be submitted to the Sharia Council. It's going to be submitted to Behind the Veils. Yes, okay. So brothers and sisters, all of this is going on. Now you need to understand when that happened. Yes, I did the same thing. The video that was released by Salman was on the 6th of April. The investigation that started by two sisters, not by myself, not by Mohammed Hijab, two sisters came forward and an investigation happened. Which one is I cannot go into for legal reasons. The other one is being carried out. It's going to be submitted to the Sharia Council. And this is my message. You can see the date, 11 February to Sheikh Mohammed. I'm with my wife, Sheikh, I can't talk as it's a private matter and now involves allegations about you. And now the organization is being brought into this. The messages I'm reading, guys, again, I'm doing this because we're being accused of blackmailing our teacher who ended up in hospital. The real reason he ended up in hospital is because for the third or fourth time, these alleged harassments, and not only that, he confessed to me of his misconduct in 2019, came out. So because of this, and he thought this was because of the whole hijab situation. Brothers and sisters, the video was released on 6th of April. This investigation started, this complaints again came back on 11th of February. That's 2 months ago, before any Salman video. So I had no personal issues with Taraweh at all. I had no plan of doing this until the whole allegation of blackmailing. He ended up in hospital, and the sisters coming forward. I have an opportunity, a obligation to clear my name. I've never blackmailed him. Number 2, which I've proved to you guys why he really ended up in hospital. And number 3, my dear brothers and sisters, if this harassment's are true, that's the 4th time it's happened. I have to free myself from him. With all due respect, wallahi, it is purely for the sake of Allah. I have nothing personal against him. He's helped me so many times, and I've helped him as well. But it's not about that. Look, I'm not here to defend anybody. But one thing is clear. If your name is dragged in dirt by some journalist, Salman, you have a right to be upset to the person that you know who's going and feeding him information when he's not himself informed, which he doesn't know. He's heard one side of the story. As a human being, looking from a hijab side, he has a right to be upset. Hijab did not say, if you don't do this, I'm going to bring your dirt out or whatever. Nothing like that was said. So, number 1, the investigation happened 2 months ago, and it is still ongoing, by the way. Yes, this is the reason why he genuinely ended up in hospital, and he was never blackmailed. But let me tell you something, guys. I sat with Mohammed Taraweh before making this video, and I told him I'm going to go public because of this heinous allegations and because of the alleged harassment of the sisters coming forward. And I'm not going to go into much detail, but what I'm going to say is this. I have 3 witnesses. Two are his students. 2 of them was his students, or ex-students, shall I say. Yeah, one of them. One of them he knows. Yes? Let me put it like this, without going into detail, without mentioning who. I was directly blackmailed. Like, when you're talking about blackmail, guys, I'm talking about full-blown direct blackmail, and these 3 people will come as a witness if anybody denies this. That there will be slanderous accusations made about me and about an organization that I'm working about. And I said, you know what? Wallahi, I fear no one but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you think, whoever made this, I'm not going to go into detail. Why? Because I just want to protect the dignity and honor. I'm not going to go into details. 3 witnesses are there, 3 righteous people, alhamdulillah, that will testify. And one is from Mohammed Taraweh's side, who witnessed what happened. Yes? I want to make this very clear, guys. And I want to end this chapter. That I never, ever blackmailed him. Ever. I've got enough to blackmail him. And never, and even if I did, I would never do that. It's heinous to your teacher. Number 2, he ended up in hospital because of, since 2019, of these alleged harassments going about him. There's an investigation going. That's why he ended up, because he realized multiple organizations are coming forth of complaints and 10 plus witnesses, and we've got text messages, all this kind of stuff. That's why, brothers and sisters, that's why he ended up in hospital. And lastly, the reason I'm doing this video is to free myself of Mohammed Taraweh, which I did not want to, because I'm not going to be blamed for something that he has done or he may do. And I believe, as a person who's seen as a sheikh, a teacher, to do stuff like this, no matter, again, I'm not saying he did major sin, sexual harassment. No, it does not befit someone to do that, brothers and sisters, inshallah. Lastly, and not least, to Salman, it shows me how reckless you are, because you have gone and betrayed Mohammed Taraweh, used his recordings, backstabbed him, just to get back at us so you can have some credibility. Little did you know that you know nothing about Mohammed Tarawih, and I'm not saying he's an evil guy. Yes, I ask Allah SWT to rectify his affairs, but little did you know that golden bullet was a bullet in your head, because now your investigation has to be carried out about Mohammed Tarawih. And if these allegations, which there's, I mean, the receipt said I'm going to send it to the relevant parties who are doing the investigation. Now you are in a big, big dilemma, Salman. A massive dilemma. Your obsession with dunya, making dunya your whole dunya, and your rage, like I said before, it's like the resentment you have towards dunya is as if you're drinking the poison and expecting her to die, and you have brought your integrity to the floor now by praising a man that you don't know nothing about. You don't know what's been going on, and now you're in a dilemma. You praise him as you did, you know nothing about him, but now the investigation is carrying on, and you're going to have to release videos about Mohammed Tarawih. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to rectify affairs. And I ask anyone that thinks I'm lying, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am ready to take an oath. If anything I said here was a lie, and wallahi, billahi wa tillahi, and I met Mohammed Tarawih face to face with 3 witnesses, and he knows, yes, how Salman backstabbed him, how Salman took an oath and lied and released his audio recordings, and 3 witnesses were a witness because I wanted witnesses there. And not only that, brothers and sisters, I was directly blackmailed in that meeting. Directly blackmailed in that meeting. And wallahi, I do not fear it. Come out with whatever you want to come out, because no one's going to take advantage of their position and abuse it. Yes? No way it's going to happen. Not under my watch. I'm so sorry. It's not going to happen. Alhamdulillah. And I gave many chances. And brothers and sisters, on that note, I want to close this chapter. Salman thought it was closed, but he did not know this chapter is opened. I am now closing this, inshallah, once and for all, inshallah, brothers and sisters. Again, I don't want anyone being hateful towards Mohammed Tarawih. Yes, I don't want anyone attacking. I'm not here to do this. I'm just telling the reality of why I had to come out and clarify of what really happened and why he really ended up in hospital. And I said this to his face in the meeting. And I said, you know it is not true that you ended up in hospital. And he didn't even say that. As far as I know, he didn't say. He said he's in hospital. But he didn't say because he was blackmailed. As far as I know, Salman made this all up. So he even knows. And in the meeting, he did not even say, no, I did end up. No, he didn't. He knows he ended up in there because of these investigations. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anything I said wrong is from myself and shaitan, and anything good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.